What's good, YouTube? Stormybman, and I'm back with another video editorial. Before we get started, I'd like to say shout out to the LDBC, Lions Den Boxing Community, New Media, and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Well. It has been officially announced that on November 21st of 2020, we will see an immediate turnaround rematch between Dillian Whyte and Alexander Povetkin. The first fight ending in a stunning knockout that left Whyte unconscious on the canvas from a Povetkin 45-degree hook uppercut smashing to the chin, knockout shot. Whyte, who decided to go right back into the gym a week after the fight, has decided he wants to exercise a rematch clause where he can take on Povetkin immediately. Is this a good idea? Some people were thinking that Whyte might want to take the time and allow himself to recover, the typical 90-day period off or whatever from any gym activity after a knockout has been suffered. But he has elected to go right back into the fray and exercise his right for a rematch. You gotta give him credit, but I give Povetkin even more credit. Povetkin did something that a lot of us wanted to see. We wanted to see Whyte's mouth shut tight. And on that night, Povetkin, who's now 36-2 with 1 draw and 25 KOs, was able to deliver. For a 40-plus-year-old man, this is great. Now, Whyte, on the other hand, who's, I believe he's 32, he wants to get back his pound of flesh. He thought he was doing a cherry pick here, and he didn't realize that that was a rotten cherry for him. He had actually scored a couple of knockdowns in the fight for himself early, but they were only flash knockdowns as Povetkin wasn't seriously hurt. I believe that going into a rematch, Whyte is thinking that if he gets Povetkin in that type of trouble again, he'll just jump on him and try to overcome him in that manner. But Whyte is not a smart boxer. He's a punching guy, and he needs to exercise a little more skill in the ring. Even with the photos of him in this video, it depicts him throwing his jab in the most improper ways. See, these are the things that I talk about Whyte not being technically sound or sufficient, and being off balance and not having a sense of how to properly box. To be perfectly honest, it was Povetkin's notice of this. Povetkin took notice that Whyte's feet were too close together and his balance wasn't well, and he took advantage of it with a brutal shot. Any experienced fighter can take advantage of these type of miscues, but Povetkin is not being given proper amount of credit for this. Don't forget, this is an Olympian, okay? Povetkin was probably the best fighter of his generation to not become a champion. So just think about that and put it in its proper perspective. Here again, we have Whyte standing up against the ropes, feet together, and he's landing a shot on Povetkin actually. But again, this is what we're talking about here. In a rematch, both men are vulnerable, and Povetkin is vulnerable to the flash knockdown because he leaps in sometimes and he's wide open. But he throws his shots with fire and intensity, bad intentions. Now, Dillian, if he were better schooled, he could probably box his way to a victory here, but that's not what I think he's going to do. I think that Dillian wants to come out and try to knock Povetkin out. And sometimes when you set yourself on that path, you know what happens. You put yourself in a position to be knocked out. So, will he be able to box his way to a victory? It's possible. But I hedge on him possibly being knocked out again simply because of the experience factor, and Povetkin understands that he can't take a single shot from Whyte, but Povetkin can take Whyte's shots. So here we have a situation where both men are possibly coming into the fight with different motives and objectives. It could be a Donnybrook, and I think that we all would enjoy seeing it. Dillian Whyte being knocked out in spectacular fashion was something that the fans could enjoy because he's become such a villain that we love to hate. But you have to give him credit for wanting to get back in there and do it again after being so devastatingly knocked out. So the man has heart. You can't take that away from him. And so does Povetkin. Willing to agree to such a turnaround, he's probably out there to prove that it wasn't a fluke. And that's another thing that's exciting, that the fighters want to do it again. Remember, Stormybman has been talking about rematches being integral as far as the fight game. Being able to see men go at it more than once, it lets you know who is really the superior fighter between the opponents. And sometimes you get results that you never went in expecting. Like no one really expected what happened in the first fight between these two gentlemen. Povetkin being down twice and putting Whyte down once and for all afterwards. Good stuff. So the fight, again, is coming up November 21st. And Whyte, who's now 27-2 with 18 KOs, is looking to get his pound of flesh back. You can't do anything but take your hat off and respect the guy for that. But Dillian Whyte has become such a hated figure. We're not going to take our hat off to him. We just hope that there's a sweet and soft space for him on the canvas in part 2. Povetkin, you can do it. Whyte, forget about it. That's just me being ostentatious. I don't think that either guy has very much ahead of the other at this juncture. It's just that Povetkin understands that he can take Whyte out. And Whyte hopes that he can take Povetkin out. What do you think about this? There's enough time between now and then to debate it, talk about it, make some more videos. But until then, let's just continue to knock Dillian Whyte off his perch like Povetkin until he can prove to us as a viewing audience that he belongs on a higher perch. This is Stormybman. That's all I have for you at this time. If you guys want to leave comments, if you want to debate it or whatever, just leave comments in the comment section here. And until the next time we speak, peace, and please stay safe.